everyone, and welcome to FranTastic InSights. I love sharing some inside information with you from some of the most innovative entrepreneurs and brands like the one we have with us today. My name is Joan Winchester. I'm the Senior Vice President of Franchise Expansion for FranServe. FranServe, for those of you who may not know us, we are the world's largest franchise consulting organization. And what we do, quite simply, is we help change people's lives through franchise ownership. And we do that by working with an incredible group of entrepreneurs and franchisors and franchise consultants who help candidates find and discover great opportunities. And today I am so excited to have with us one of my personal favorite brands with us, and that's Be Organized. And Kristen Christian is one of the founding partners, and she's got a great story on how she came about starting this with her brother and sister. So welcome to FranTastic InSights, Kristen.
Thank you so much, Joan. I'm so delighted to be here. What an honor.
Thank you. So, Kristen, I would love if you could share with our audience a little bit more about Be Organized and how you came up with the idea and how you got started.
I love it. Well, yeah, first, I love how you said you guys changed lives by helping people, find entrepreneur and franchising opportunities. Ours is a little the same. We help people change lives, but through organization. That is the backbone of Be Organized, and we do it with our three primary beliefs of compassion, confidentiality, and judgment free, and just loving the space and loving the opportunity to provide entrepreneurs an opportunity to find a servant-hearted, mission-driven business to build the business of their dreams. Quite simply, though, Be Organized was literally founded on a napkin. My best friend, she's not my sister, but she's like my sister. She's my best friend. Lisa and I started Be Organized in 2015, really with the desire to help share the life-changing benefits of organization. Not through Pinterest perfect organization, but realistic organization, really coming and meeting people where they are and helping them eat the elephant one bite at a time is really what we do. And so Lisa and I had been in corporate for years. I was always on the sales and marketing side of things. Lisa was more on the financial and the HR side of things. We both took a beat, time off to raise our kiddos, became professional volunteers, as we say, and we knew we wanted and needed to get back into the workforce, but wanted to have passion at play. And we wanted to have the freedom and flexibility that really only comes with entrepreneurship. So Be Organized was born. While I teased that we didn't know how to spell franchising back then, that was not part of the dream. It really was to build a business that truly helped people change their lives through the benefits of organization. And right out of the gate, Joan, we hit a nerve. We had so much demand and success that we very quickly started hiring what we call our first worker bees, our organizers. And in doing so, obviously, the business changes because then we had to have systems and processes in order to control that quality and to scale the business. And so quite naturally, franchising was born out of that.
Great. That's a great story. So tell us a little bit more. And I know I might be throwing you off of the industry. I mean, I just think of my son, who has three kids. They actually have hired someone to help them because they just can't keep up with two working parents, three small children. And yet the industry must just be in a tremendous growth mode.
Well, it absolutely is. And we always say to people like your son and others that organization is a journey, not a destination. And that's the thing. Nobody gets organized and then just walks away, right? Because life is messy. You go through different changes and seasons of life with young kids and all. That's really what drove me to organization is I have four kids myself. And I realized, holy cow, I can't do this. I'm not going to be able to be present and patient if I don't have control over my environment. So, yes, the industry of professional organizing is on fire because life is just messy. Add to that too, though, Joan, we as Americans, we're consumers. We're part of 12% of the population doing 60% of the private consumption spending. So we have this influx of stuff coming in, and it's really easy to get, right? We can click, click, click away on our computers at 3 a.m. and it's delivered before we even wake up in the morning, right? And so we have an influx, but the American family, the American person in general is moving too fast. We are so busy that very quickly our homes are filling up. We don't have a system for things to go out. And then our homes are not being the sanctuary that we really truly need them to be in this climate of this world that we're in right now. And then you add with that too, the flip side of that, Joan, is the aging population, this silver tsunami that we're experiencing with the baby boomers and their connection, their relationship with their belongings, but the very real need that they're needing to downsize and change their lifestyle to accommodate their aging and the needs. And so that can be so paralyzing that that's a large part of the services that we offer is that life transition. So whether it be downsizing or after a death or a divorce or a baby or kids going off to colleges, all those seasons of life come with them organizing challenges.
Mm. So I'd love if you could share with our audience what makes Be Organized so unique and the key differentiators.
Absolutely. Well, I started at the top of the call that we have built our business on the three beliefs that we treat everyone with compassion, confidentiality, and judgment free. And while that is very common lip service in professional organizing, it is truly the foundation and the litmus test that we use on everything that we do because the act of organizing and our service we provide is so intimate. But then we have that kind of cascade down to all aspects of our business. When we are looking to engage and partner with franchisees, they have to have those beliefs because, as I always say, I can't teach that, right? I can teach all the aspects of Be Organized and our method of organizing, and we have incredible support and training, but I can't teach what's in the head and heart, right? They've got to be that servant-minded, mission purpose driven person mixed with wanting to grow and build and scale a business of their dreams and that business acumen and that need and want. So really that does separate, Be Organized, and differentiates us. Additionally, we truly believe in our service, that it is so much more than organizing. It is that relationship, and that is with our clients, with our franchisees, our vendor partners, our referral partners. It's really that relationship that is so important, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what business we're in. We're all in the people business. So we've really taken that a step further, and we've created what we call an organizing profile quiz. We started seeing after working with so many clients that everybody had a relationship with their stuff, and it's where you are on that spectrum that causes roadblocks and frustrations in getting and staying organized. So we really train and teach, and that becomes part of our vernacular of how we engage with our clients, with our franchisees. We all, for example, I'm a reforming crammer, jammer, stacker. And so then we really can meet people where they are. And it's not about this perfect organization, this vision, this Instagram worthy, beautiful pictures. It's really an act of helping people make customized and sustainable changes that make sense for the season there.
Mm. It makes a lot of sense. There's a
Yeah,
huge educational process here.
absolutely. It's a lot of
Yeah,
psychology, right?
yeah. Who knew? So tell me about the qualities that you look for in a franchise owner and who is the ideal candidate?
Right. I love that question. Um, one of the misnomer is that people think they need to know organizing or that they need to love organizing or be organized themselves. And the real truth of the matter is we're going to teach all that. And if you're going to, the right candidate really for us is somebody who's not necessarily going to be doing the organizing. It's kind of like when, you have somebody who is interested in buying a burger shop. It's not their love of burgers of why they're starting that business. And I feel like oftentimes that's sometimes the initial conversation I have with prospects is they want to talk about organizing and how organized they are and how much they love organizing, to which I say, if you're doing this right, you're not going to be organizing, because we want people who who want to grow, build, and scale a business. We want our franchisees to have those soft skills, that networking, that not necessarily formal sales experience. I truly believe everybody's always been in sales, right? It's you're selling yourself. And so those people who have that network, that sphere of influence in their marketplace and aren't afraid to go out and do what I say, you know, kind of that grassroots community, local building and marketing of their business, and growing a hive that we call it, of building a team of organizers that are going to go out and be that arm of the business, and that the franchisee is really growing and scaling the business, hiring, training, managing, networking, and selling.
Great. Great answer. And it's home-based, right? You can
It
work from home.
is,
You don't need big
right.
overhead and big office space, right?
Yeah, it's a relatively low barrier of entry and low overhead, because yes, you're right. You can run this out of your home, or your car, I say, because a lot of times the franchisee is out and about doing the assessments and meeting with people and marketing and networking. But yes, you don't need to have a storefront or an office space, which really then helps with the overhead and allows for a high profit potential.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about the training and the support?
Right, absolutely. We always say when somebody buys a franchise from Be Organized, it's as if we hand over the keys to a tricked out sports car. And if you'll allow me to kind of elaborate on that analogy, but this sports car is beautiful. It's got all the bells and whistles. It's going to get you from A to Z, in style and on time and safely. But it's up to the franchisee to put the gas in and get behind the wheel. But what we have done is we have crafted this sports car that is proven, that is working, that is making sense, and validated in markets nationwide. And so that support system, that kind of been there, done what, that operations manual, is then fused with our four quadrant training program, where we come in and teach all aspects of the business, from hands-on training to classroom to virtual. So really comprehensive training. But then I loved expanding on that race car analogy. Then we're their pit crew, right? We are there and truly partnering with them. Again, they have to get behind the wheel, right? They got to put the gasoline in. But the system at large, the main hive here, is their pit crew. And then what I think is the unsung hero in franchising is the fellow franchisees, right? The learnings and growth, and kind of all boats rise with the tide of building this nationwide brand, and awareness really helps in the growth. But we put a lot of our resources, energy, and time into that initial training, but then also more so, I would say, than on that ongoing support and pit crew that we provide to our franchisees.
Great analogy. I love it. That's a great one. I'll remember that. So tell me a little bit about the timeline to open, if you would.
Yeah. A relatively short timeline. Again, the discovery process takes some time. Obviously, we have the full belief that you, at the end of the day, do business with people you like, know, and trust, and it just takes time. So our discovery process is a series of conversations with just providing information back and forth, really to make sure it's the right fit. To us, it's not about the franchise fee. This, our success is directly linked to our franchisees' long-term success. And so we want to make sure we have the right fit, the right person to sit at our table and to share the brand with, because that's truly what we're doing, right? Sharing this brand. And so as far as timeline, once we sign, it's roughly a 60 to 90 day ramp up, within, reason. We have what we call Colony College. That is the in-person portion of our training program. We host that 4 times a year here at the main hive. So that really kind of creates a natural timeline. There is a pre-training, what we call Colony College prep course, before you come to Kansas City for training. Then you come to Kansas City for the in-person training. And then there is additional training, 2 more quadrants of training and setup and business, kind of that back and forth duties of setting up the business before you launch.
Great. So tell me about the ideal markets and the areas that you're looking to grow. I know
Absolutely.
you
I
have
love
40 units right now, right?
We
40
actually have
franchise.
41 units, and then
Yeah.
Kansas City is owned and operated by owned by Lisa and I, operated by a different staff. So 42 markets active, and growing. I want to say something about that too. We've been very intentional in our growth. Like I said, it's to us, it's not about the numbers, it's about the quality of people and bringing the right people and the fit in. And we want to make sure that we can be that pit crew, right? So we've been very intentional in our growth numbers, in order to be able to do that. Because we don't take it very lightly, but we shake hands, look somebody in the eye, and become partners. And we want to be able to support them at the full level that they need. And so as far as a market, obviously you need to have enough of that population, that household income. But what we started in the top of the call of talking about life transitions and organizing and the aging population. This is not, we don't position ourselves as just a luxury business. It really then, when you're working with life transitions and people in downsizing, it really is becoming a necessity in many ways. And so given that, we can go into some, different markets that wouldn't necessarily, you would think, would have that high-end luxury household income, but we have defined what that household income. We do award dedicated and protected territories. And so, there's incredible opportunity nationwide for this service.
Great. Thank you so much, Kristen. At FranServe, we love franchising. I mean, we actually have trademarked our tagline,
I love
franchising is our
that.
superpower. I mean, what could be more rewarding, right, than helping to change people's lives through franchise ownership? I mean,
Absolutely.
many people want to be their own boss, but
Mhm.
franchising actually makes it a reality. Can you
Well, it's like the
tell our,
best of both worlds, I think, right?
I know, right? So, can you tell us, our audience, a little bit about the lifestyle of a be organized franchisee and what that looks like?
Absolutely. That's a great question. The lifestyle, I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, that first year, you're drinking from the fire hose. It is hair on fire. And that's something I'm really we're very upfront about in the beginning. I think sometimes when people are looking, especially in our industry, they are maybe wanting to keep their full-time job, maybe wanting to do this a little bit as a hobby. And the expectation is that you will be going full bore ahead, right? To build any business, it's going to take a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. And so that, and especially that initial year or second year, you're wearing all the hats. And it's a lot. There's that learning curve, and you're building your business, you're trying to market it, you're trying to create those networking events, you're hiring bees, and trying to participate, as a franchisee. So it's a lot, as you would expect in starting a business. Ultimately, though, the long term on this, Joan, is that you create that work-life balance that all of us are looking for. I also love it when I talk to a franchisee and they have that aha moment that Lisa and I did early on in this business, of that they may be. I was talking to a franchisee the other day. She was in Mexico walking on the beach. She had a margarita in hand and she had 3, 4 jobs going on back home, right? She had AZs busy. That is a scaled business. That's the kind of business we're helping people build. Is every day going to be like that? No. Do you come out of the gate like that? No. But this definitely is a business that can allow you to have that appropriate work-life balance, be in charge of your time, your destiny, and it's so scalable.
Yeah, I love it. I want my daughter to get one. So
We have a lot of
I'm going
fun
to
while
send
we
her
do
this when
it.
we're done.
Yeah, I love it.
So thank you so much for your story and for the inside information. Any last thoughts for our audience of FranTastic Insights today before we wrap up?
Thank you. Thank you to FranServe. I've been so impressed in working with all of your brokers, and I appreciate, Joan, your consultative mind. Just kudos to you all. You're doing the right thing. And I too, I love franchising. I now know how to spell it. So thank you on that. And I encourage people to educate themselves and really finding finding those brands that speak to you, because I do believe if you have passion for what you're doing, because let's be honest, building a business is hard. So if you find that brand or that business that speaks to your heart, that gets you kind of buzzing, no pun intended, run in that direction, and there are just a lot of incredible opportunities and winnings can come from that.
Thank you so much. Love your brand. Love chatting with you today. Thanks for participating in our FranTastic Insight.
It's an honor. Thank you so much, Joan.